Aloha, I'm Tashi Delay from Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center, here on the island of Kauai in the middle of the Pacific, on planet Earth. I'm Lama Tashi, and we present this class every Thursday night, 6 to 8, and it's recorded and put on our website. Tonight's class in the Tibetan Lamanistic tradition, or what we call the shamanistic tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, is based on mostly meditation and yoga. But also tonight I want to read from the Shower of Blessings, because the practice, one of the practices we're going to do tonight, which we didn't get to in our last class last Thursday, is Manjushri. And this particular practice is based on 3 aspects of yoga and meditation. In our tradition, voidness is the foot of meditation. That means understanding that your natural mind is like a blank. But that blank is the nature of the universe. It simply means that everything is illusory in nature and always changing. The second quality that's useful in meditation, it's called the head of meditation, is devotion. The devotion actually starts for your inner true nature in our tradition, which is called unconditional or ultimate nature. And its usefulness, it is the antidote of the drama mind, which is completely conditional. And when we say conditional, we mean it's based on outer circumstances. And these outer circumstances have an effect. And then our natural mind is based on inner circumstances, or the mind itself, which can think of anything. Even though we say it's blank or non-existence, that's simply the basis of the intelligence of the mind of, say, a human. And this intelligence is what we use in the Dharma to gain insight and knowledge. So we have the foot of meditation is everything is based on voidness or emptiness. The head of meditation is devotion for our inner nature and how it manifests outside, for instance, with the lamas and the teachings and so forth, the Dharma. Then what is the practice itself? That's the heart of meditation. And this means that, yes, you can understand voidness, the natural state of the universe, in your own innate natural awareness. And yes, you can have devotion, respect for yourself, others, and especially for the teachers, the lamas in this tradition. But without practice, these two are wasted. So all of this transmission from 2,600 years ago from the Buddha Shakyamuni down to the present day is based on a transmission of how it was presented then, how it was used in India, then how it transferred to Tibet, and then now the whole planet. And it's unchanged. So from teacher to disciple, over the last 2,600 years, many, many, many human beings have benefited from this wisdom practice. It's called Dharma. And this transmission of the we say gurus and lamas, down to today, to the West, the Western world mindset. And for us, it's extremely useful because we've kind of run amok. In the Western world, we're arrogant, which, of course, sentient beings is one of the emotional predispositions. But it's more so because we have so much. You know, in the Western world, you can turn on the news or the TV, and on the surface, everything looks kind of good. Everybody has food, everybody has shelter, most everybody, they have clothing, they have education, they have medicine, they have stuff, cars, everything. And when the rest of the world sees that, they go, must be gods and gods. And actually, we're not. We're emotionally preoccupied just like everybody on this planet. And that emotionality causes us, no matter how much we have, to be emotionally defective. And arrogance being the predominant theme because we think that we're the best. We have this mindset. And we also have the idea that we can be independent of others in the planet. Well, that's exactly opposite to the teachings of Buddhism, or the teachings of this tradition of Brahmanism. Actually, it's just the opposite. We want to be interdependent. So it sounds like the same word, but you must understand that everything that we see, smell, taste, touch, and use, experience, and think about is coming from everything and everyone else. That everything and everyone else is our life support system. There's no way you can be independent. You can think that, but it's not appropriate. So we talk about the Dharma practice, and the Lama's teaching as achieving a state of enlightenment, which is a total state of interconnectedness. And with that interconnectedness idea, then the Dharma makes sense. Because the Lamas tell us that everything we're doing, all these practices, are simply offerings for everybody else and for our environment and the spirits that inhabit the environment and the animal. And this idea that everything is outward going, whatever we do with our body, speech, and mind is for everybody else in the environment, brings you into another state that's very useful called, it's based on interconnectedness, but it's called unity. And when you enter into this state of unity, then it's a heart-connected aspect of consciousness. It actually is based on higher intelligence. But this idea of union or unity simply means an energy field is more appropriate than the disconnected energy field of the drama mind, of which we're all drama mongers. We all do this. And that's the we. So when you say interconnected, or everything is like they call our universe. Universe means one vibration. When you think like that, then the I, me, mind stuff kind of starts to lose its hold on your way of being, your sense of self. Starts to go away. Because if you look inside deep enough, you'll never find yourself. You'll never find a soul. You'll never find an entity of any kind. All that's there is a bunch of subliminal tendencies. And where did these come from? Past them. So all this stuff that's going on comes up from day to day, and so you don't even know where it comes from, and all of a sudden it's activated. It's all from the past. Well, the past doesn't exist. So if you say, well, I have these tendencies, and they all came from the path. Well, the past doesn't exist. So those tendencies are subliminal. They're not really real. You know? They're not something that you want to worry about or have fear about. But in the Dharma practices, these tendencies have to be transformed. It's the only way to deal with them. Why? Because we're all in relationships, either with ourselves, like monks and nuns, they're in relationships with themselves. For instance, they have lots of vows not to be doing this and that. And celibacy is one of those vows. So celibacy is kind of outside the box for us Western people. But this idea of we-ness is all-inclusive. And that's the real nature of your mind. Your mind can think of anything. Your mind is all-pervasive. You can go out to the microcosm, you can go into the microcosm or out to the macrocosm, or just involve yourself with endless things right here on where you live. So what do we do about it? What I'm talking about. What do we do with this drama mind? And how do we really connect to the intelligence of the wisdom nature, the natural nature, which is really what's in harmony with the natural world. And in fact, it is the nature of the natural world. Then you take refuge. Now, I have a picture of a new paradigm. And it came out of the newspaper, and it says, this is used to control pain, cancer, disease, and other problems in the human condition. And the way they present this is a tree of health. And then on one side of the tree, it's got all of the problems. And on the other side of the tree has all the antidotes. Well, right off the top, the first antidote is meditation. And then as you go down, it's starting to say things like yoga and attain a state of peace, and, you know, along with medicinal remedies, of course. But that's exactly what we do. We take refuge with the Dharma, but we symbolize it as a tree, a refuge tree. And we have all these qualities assigned to that symbol the same way they're using this symbol to actually create what they call healing modality. In fact, this is a whole page of them with a free seminar and everything. This is presented in Honolulu. I took it out of the paper because it was so close to what we're doing. So tonight we're going to start with the refuge. And if you are doing tantric practice, the prostrations, the refuge tree is a symbol that we use in our tradition. And if not, well, you can use the one out of the newspaper. But the idea is that the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha has been around for 2,600 years. But this tradition of Tibetan Buddhism has only been around for about 1,000 of that 21, actually 1,300 years. And so it all started with taking refuge. So to do that, we have to bring the we idea into the movie to start with. So we're going to read this first concept. You can say it's a prayer, but it's a concept. And it's very, very powerful in Tibetan Buddhism because it includes the spirit world, which is 99% of all the sentient beings in the universe. Us humans are 1/10 of 1 million percent on this planet even. Animals, more. Spirits, everywhere. So these first prayers incorporate spirit.
Could you just say that again?
The world, the universe, is composed of mostly spirit. And so this prayer that we're going to say is a communication to the spirits. They're part of our we program. And that starts the healing process right away, because you want to bring the spirits into our situation, but in a way that they're benefiting us, not obstructing us. Is that okay? Is that okay?
You can take my spot.
Would you rather have a
No,
pillow?
I'll just have a pillow.
Oh. There you go. So we're going to read this prayer. It's called the altruistic motivation, and it applies to limitless sentient beings. In order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, our Mother, we now all together take refuge and offer prostration. We go for refuge to all the glorious Holy One. We go for refuge to all the idioms, the Jejis, gathered and their Mandalas. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those of conquered mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all the Supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all this noble Sangha. And we go for refuge to all the Dakas of Dakim, who are the protectors and defenders of the Dharma. All of these possess the eye of transcending awareness. And the third prayer is, to the Buddha, Dharma, and this Supreme Assembly, we go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, in merit gained from practicing the six perfections, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Now, we're going to chant this in Tibetan. I'll do the first prayer, because the deities of spirits, are used to hearing it from Lama. And it's the start of all shamanistic Lama practice. Da dong jowa nam ge da dong yang ge zhen zhen dong che ju ne ju de ju su jen chu ken go lao chi pi gar du. And in Sanskrit, we'll chant the refuge prayer, which is on the left side of the sheet. Ave Lama Dhamma Nama Chatsu Shio Yedam Chukho Jivaso Nama Chatsu Shio Sanje Jom Dende Nama Chatsu Shio Dande Churnam Chatsu Shio Bhave Gandhan Nama Chatsu Shio Bhavo Gandho Chum Sune So Ekiti Chundam Gimpa Nama Chatsu Shio Sanjay Chodam Champi Chodam Kentu Bardu Tavi Chatsu Shi Tavi Jenso Kipe Sona Ki Dua Kenchen Sanjay Drupal Shum. Now that chanting of the refuge prayer, this first chanting is for us. The next one, you think that we're going to do it again, but this time you think everybody in the universe is doing it. That communicates the first prayer from the altruistic motivation. And now when you chant this prayer, these two the second time, think all the spirits in the universe, all the animals and humans, no matter where they take birth, what planet, anywhere in the universe, they're all doing this with you. Just think that. Now read it while you're thinking that. Hold these two together. Ave Lama Dhamma Nama Chatsu Shio Yedam Chukho Jivaso Nama Chatsu Shio Sanjay Chom Dende Nama Chatsu Shio Bhave Gandhan Nama Chatsu Shio
Pape Gendum Namla Chapsuchia. Pao Kanjo Chojong Sonde. Shorshye Gendam Depo Namla Chapsuchia.
And the next prayer.
Sangye Chodam Choki Chodam La Jeju Pardu Bhakti Satsushi Adi Choki Sonam Ki Jola Tenche Sangye Rupa Shom.
Then relax. Contemplate this idea of interconnectedness, we-ness. Take it to heart. In this way, the words, the chanting, the motivation, which we call altruistic, all-inclusive, start to generate a mindset based on love. We use the term loving kindness. And yes, there are many, many antidotes to our emotional affliction, but loving kindness is the most powerful. And does that mean that we not do all of the other methods, meditation, yoga, prayer, making offerings, and so forth? No, because it's an aspect of your consciousness or intelligence that is constantly increasing. And if it's not increasing, then you have a problem. Then we have a problem. And so today I was asked the question about motherhood. Why do we use the term for all sentient beings as our mother? Well, motherhood is how we accomplish the human condition on this planet, in both the animal world and the human condition. And it can be interpreted two ways based on the word love. So it was asked in relationship to the patriarchal situation we find ourselves in worldwide, okay, all levels of society, religion, even Buddhism, corporations, military, social endeavors, everything. And it seems to be counterproductive. So when we start with this idea of the mother and the word love, you have to understand your mind has two natures. You have the drama mind, which everybody has. And that's based on conflicting emotion. Starting with attachment, then you have aversion, then you have arrogance or pride, then you have jealousy, with me? And then you have a thing called ignorance. Because delusion. Well, these five categories were summed up with the Buddhist teachings, and then in Tibet, studied at great length. So they actually counted many, many thousands of each of those five aspects of emotionality. In other words, thousands of problems with attachment, which escalates the desire, lust, greed, and so forth. and thousands of problems with aversion, not liking something, which escalate into hatred, anger, rage, and so forth. And thousands of aspects of pride or arrogance, even to the celestial realm. It's not just located in the human condition. And then we have jealousy, thinking less of the inferior, envy, coveting, this kind of thing. But all of these are based simply on ignorance. The ignorance is this idea of thinking that you exist in the first place, separate from everybody else or everything else, because you're told that from birth. Mom, Dad. But you've been telling it to yourself with your own senses. You see things that way, you hear things that way, you smell them, you taste them, you touch them, and you think about them. And the essential perception of your body is telling you that that's all out there. For most of it. That's not true. There isn't anything separate from you. This idea of separation is purely a concept. Like most of our delusional thinking on this planet is simply a concept. Thinking things are supreme and supernatural, divine and so forth is a concept. It's a very arrogant thought. Thinking that you're inferior or things are lower or lesser than you, like an outcast, is based on delusion. So those four categories of conflicting consciousness interact with everybody simply on this idea of separation. And you don't get it because you go around collecting. You collect knowledge, you collect stuff, you collect energy, because we're energy feeders. You collect. They even have a program on TV about collecting in our society. But this collecting is worthless. First of all, you can't take it with you. You know, every single one of us is, we don't know what's coming next. And the next breath is the next life. So this aspect of your state of being is very fragile, like a bubble of water. And if you don't think that, go on the news. 5 minutes of news. News. Apply it to your own situation. And this is why we practice now. This is why we practice every day. And once you start to do this diligence of practice, it starts to take hold of the I, me, mine concept and very slowly dissolve it, and something else takes its place, which is nothing less than that. Now that's not true, because the universe doesn't work that way. But this concept of nothingness is an all-inclusive idea, because from that, everything appears. And if you don't believe that, the sky is a perfect example. Everything comes from the sky. And everything goes back to the sky. And the whole universe operates. You know? It comes out of this state of space, which we call the mother principle of the element, and appears as a glom of earth, water, fire, and air in space. And the earth, water, fire, air makes everything in the universe, everything that appears, including your own body. So those are universal substances, but space is the glue. Space is the originator. And in our form of shamanistic Lamaism, those elements are the mother principle of the universe. This galaxy creates our solar system and all the solar systems. This solar system created Mother Earth, the moon, and the planet. Which? Either. Okay. But the earth, water, fire, and air aspect of these has life support, life force. The space, yeah, you got to have that. You know, when you go in the womb, the mother makes space for you. Doesn't she? Yeah. And the next thing she does is fill it up with water. You with me? And the next thing she does is she has a little heat to it, fire. And then her own prana, her own breath, life support. That's the feeding. So the earth, the water, the fire, and finally air. And there you are, a sentient being. And this sentient being is in a state of karmic difficulty. I just mispronounced the word, like paradigm. Difficulties is a word I learned from my dad because he was Swiss. And he would take the English language and heard him. Difficulties is difficult. But this difficult situation can be treated. If it couldn't, we would have eternal pain and suffering. There'd never be an end to it. But lucky for us, pain and suffering is intermittent with happiness, pleasure, and nice experience. But the point being is you have to transform your difficulties into something else that's not counterproductive to your existence. And that's what your mother wanted from you. She wanted you to grow up, survive, and be mature. And for the word Buddha in Tibetan Buddhism, that's the ultimate maturity. That's the end of the evolution of a human being. But it's the start of something else. Because consciousness never goes away. Yes, you can't find a beginning to it in past lives and experiences, and there's no end to it in the future. Your body, it's a husk that holds it. And lucky for us, it wears out, and we can recycle. Now, in Tibetan Buddhism, they use the word recycle in a different way. They call it transmigration, a loop. So we as human beings are caught in the loop. And the loop is completely mental, but it affects us physically when we enter into, for instance, the animal and human loop condition, which we do. But in the spirit world, this loop doesn't have the same law of physics as it does in the animal and human condition. Looks the same. You know, when you leave your body, which a lot of us do, you know, runners leave it when they go into the zone. You know, people have near-death experiences. You get to understand that there's another reality going on. Psychoactive drugs. There's all kinds of wild ways you can get a little hint of this loop. But when you go into the next condition, the spirit world, there's no laws of physics there. It doesn't operate the same. It looks like this, but the law of physics does not apply. This is not solid, fixed, and permanent. Everything is the limit. And you can see the spirit. When you enter the next world, when you wake up, because we all go into a kind of swoon when we leave the body. We get a 3 or 4 day rest, peace, state of peace. Then we wake up, and there it is. But we can see these celestial worlds, born war god, demigod worlds. We can see the worlds of, we call them hungry ghosts or deprived spirits. We can see the demonic spirit. But the problem is, we don't know how to deal with it. The animals and humans, we got a little clue. But the spirit, they got the program that's off the charts, and they are the majority. As I said before, 99 and 9/10 of this universe is spirit. And so, what do you do about it? Befriend them. What do you do about wild humans? If you can't befriend them, you put them in a box. I mean, we have Mahalona right down the street. They get too uppity or too weird. Animals, they have the program. They're actually here to support it. But they have karma just like us. But in the spirit world, the karma is so emotionally fixed that it makes them operate a certain way, be a certain way. They don't have an out. If they're stuck in the celestial realms of the heavens, called religious realms of gods and goddesses, they can't do anything about that. If they get bored in that realm, too bad, you gotta stay there. If they're in the war and war god realms, and which are based on harm, they gotta be like that. Can't change. If they're in the deprived spirit world, which is kind of like being homeless in Hawaii, or if they're the angry spirit, we call it psychotic, because anger is a state of psychosis. They're stuck. But not forever. Oh, you mean the celestial heavens are not forever? No. Lucky for us. Because having the best of everything all the time could get really, as I said before, boring. It's just like their existence, compared to us, which are very short life, theirs are thousands and thousands of years. Maybe a whole solar system will come and go, disappear. Maybe a whole galaxy will come and disappear. They're still kicking around. We are going to be extinct on this planet, and maybe take the animals with us, it appears. But the spirits will still be here. This planet's scientists can be around for billions of years. I'm telling you this because what can you do about that? Shamanistic path. Let the spirits know you're here. That's what we just did by taking. How would you do that? How about offering them some water every morning? How about offering a little plate of cookies or food? Something nice. Okay. Every morning. That's what we do. And every night we throw it outside because a lot of the spirits don't like it in this house. Because of this stuff. We got these energy things going on. So they don't like the energy, so they stay outside. Okay, we throw it outside. Here, have some. What do spirits do? They feed on odors. You know? When you take a poop, you can't imagine how that job's good. Or fart. You ever think of offering that? We do.
Waste.
Yeah. You know, it's equal to incense. Except there's some incense that really don't like that. They like the incense. That's the variety. We try to cover all the bases. But you want to somehow, some way, besides communication, which we did by taking the refuge prayer, you want to do it physically. That's real shamanism. You know, the Hawaiians did that. The American Indians did that. I know of these two tribes because I was one. Hindus do that. Sufis do that. tribes of the planet before the industrial age. They made a big thing of it. If you go to Bali, it's a 24/7 program. Everything on that island is offered to the spirit. Everything. So I'm going to offer this prayer. And this prayer is a summation of your other nature of mind and how to use it. And this was put out there by one of our teachers called the Karmapa, which has a very old lineage into that. And he was the third Karmapa, and he could see what was coming down on this planet. And so he made this prayer, and it's called the Prayer of Mahamudra. Maha means great, Mudra means position, seal, or view. How you look at me, and what do you do about it? The insight's one thing, but how do you use your insight? Without knowledge, it's just insight. You got to make it available to everyone. So it goes like this. Homage to the Gurus, the Lamas, the Idams, and their deities of the mandalas, and all the Buddhas of the 3 times and 10 directions, and all of their offspring. Please, all of you, look with loving kindness upon me and grant blessings so that my prayers and good wishes be accomplished exactly as I ask, and may they all be appropriate. With the virtue of the threefold purity, threefold body, speech, mind, sprung from the snowy mountains of pure action of myself and innumerable sentient beings, be united with the ocean of the 4 aspects of the Buddha, body, speech, and mind operating for the benefit of others. Until this is accomplished, may I in this life and through my successions of birth enjoy the goodness of an ocean of happiness and virtue, and may the din of torment, pain, and suffering never be heard again. Having obtained this precious human body, free and well endowed, with faith, energy, and intelligence, and having attended upon a worthy spiritual friend, my Lama, may I practice this Dharma properly as I have received it, in this and all lives without interruption. Studying the scriptures and developing my intellect, in this way may I be freed from the obscuration of ignorance, delusion, and other temptations. Contemplating oral instruction from my teachers, may the darkness of doubt be overcome by the light of meditation and yoga. And may the natural state shine forth from that, just as it is. May the light of the threefold knowledge impact my body, speech, and mind. And from this, the meaning of the ground, which is true truth, relative and ultimate, be free from the limits of extreme views and the supreme path of the 2 accumulations that are simply for myself and all others. May I be free of the extremes of praise and blame, and obtain the 2 benefits, which is free from the extremes of becoming, which we call karmic rebirth, and tranquility, which means states of peace. And may I meet the unerring Dharma, which is the purification of mind itself, inseparable from emptiness. The means of purification is the great Vajra Yoga of Mahamudra, the natural mind without any judgment. The object of purification is this transitory stain of confusion which we all endure. May I truly realize the fruit of purification, the pristine Dharmakaya, my natural mind, which is all-pervasive. May I resolve all doubts about this and bring this conviction to the view. Maintaining this without wavering is the key point of meditation. Training skillfully in all points meditation is supreme action. May I be confident in the view, meditation, and action. All dharmas are phantoms of the mind, and the mind itself is no mind. Its natural state is voidness. Though it is empty, it manifests as everything and anything without ceasing. Investigating the mind, may I discern the root basis. Spontaneous appearance, which has never existed, has been mistaken for an object. Through ignorance, spontaneous awareness is confused with the self. Under the influence of this duality, we wander in the continuum of being, which I explained as transmigration through 6 realms. May I cut off ignorance and confusion at the root. It does not exist, since the Buddhas have never found it, but it does not exist because it is the basis of all samsara and states of peace. There being no contradiction between these two is the unity of the middle way. May I realize the dharmata of boundless mind. If one says this is this, there is no reference. If one says this is not it, there is no ground for denial. May I gain conviction in the perfect ultimate truth, the unconditioned dharmata transcending intellect. Not realizing this, we circle in this ocean of suffering. Realizing it, Buddha is not other. There being no is or is not, may I become aware of the vital point of the all ground, the nature of mind, which is the nature of everything. Since appearance is mind, and emptiness is also mind, since realization is mind, and confusion is also mind, and since arising is mind, and sensation is mind, may I cut through all doubts concerning mind. Without spoiling meditation by intellectual effort, and unmoved by the winds of worldly distraction, being able to settle into an uncontrived natural state, may I maintain the skillful practice of the essence of mind. Calming the waves of subtle and coarse thoughts on their own ground, this river of unwavering mind comes naturally to rest. Free from the contamination of dullness and conceptualization, may I become established in the unmoving ocean of samatha, called awareness, and continually look again and again at this mind which cannot be seen. And by doing that, I see vividly the meaning of not seeing, exactly as it is. Cutting off doubts about existence and non-existence, may I mistakenly know my own essence. Looking at objects, the mind devoid of objects is seen. Looking at the mind, it's the nature of void of mind is empty. Looking at both of these together in practice, dualistic fixation is self-liberating. May I realize this natural state of luminosity, freedom from mental production, which is called Mahamudra, and freedom of extremes, which is called the great middle way. May this become the embodiment of everything. May I attain the confidence in knowing one, all of this is realized. Great bliss is simply the unseeing mind without attachment. Luminosity is unobscured without fixation. And non-thought, which transcends intellect, is always present. May I experience this continuity without effort. May clinging to the desire for good be self-liberated, and the nature of negative thoughts and confusion be purified into space. Now, with the ordinary mind free of acceptance and rejection, gain and loss, may I attain the simplicity of dharmata, emptiness. Though the nature of being is always enlightened, Not realizing this, we wander in endless pain and suffering called samsara. And for all sentient beings who suffer without limit, the overwhelming compassion is conceived in my being. Although compassion is skillful, may the truth of this essential emptiness be nakedly clear. This unity is the supreme, unerring path of shamanistic Lamaism. May I meditate it inseparably day and night. May I acquire the higher eye of superperception, of omniscience and intelligence, and arise through the power of practicing meditation. May I ripen sentient beings and purify Buddhahood. May I perfect this aspiration that accomplishes all Buddha Dharma. And arriving at the end of perfecting and maturing and purifying, may I become a mature human being. By the power of compassion of all the Buddhas of the 10 directions and their offspring, and by the power of whatever virtue exists, may the pure aspirations for myself and all sentient beings be fulfilled in this way. And this was transmitted by Karmapa, the Third Karmapa, about 500 years ago. Any questions? That's called the prayer of Mahamudra. So everybody said, well, what's Mahamudra? You can't just say it for you. It's a view that is symbolized by an empty mirror placed underneath these symbols. You put these flowers up here as an offering. This is your natural mind. This is where you started when you came out of the womb. But when the Karmapa came out of the womb, you know what he did? He said, hi, Mom, I'm done. So there's two kinds of human birth. There's one based on what we call an enlightened attitude, or a state of intelligence that's incorporated through all of these various practices we do over time. And then at some point, you reach maturity. From that, you take birth. Not because you want to come back in the human condition and have all this good stuff. I think we should practice. The first practice we're going to introduce tonight is called Yantra Yoga. Yan, or Yang, means prana, or air. And Yantra Yoga is to establish in your physical situation a state of energy that overcomes stress from whatever sort. We all have karma, and everybody's karma is different. But this stress factor is debilitating and actually a hindrance to meditation. So we have this Yantra Yoga that was taught to me by my teacher, Gala Rinpoche, and also by another teacher that Abby and I went to see.
Nam Kai Northern.
Oh, I was trying to think of his first name. He was named after. He was named after the woman who was the consort. Soygel.
Yes, yes, Soygel.
That's what I was trying to think of. Soygel. Lama Soygel Namkai Norbu. And when he taught us this Yantra Yoga, he said, this is to get the energy program suitable for Dharma practice. So it goes like this. Start with your hands on your knees. If you can, with your back straight, laying down or sitting up, standing even. And as you inhale, visualize light filling up your body through your throat, right here. When you exhale, see all the light drain out of your body, and space takes its place. When you do this, raise your right hand and close your left nostril with your forefinger. And then raise your right hand and close the right nostril with your forefinger. So this is called the 9 yantra breathing pattern. So inhale, light filling you up. Exhale, bring your hand back down. And visualize all the light draining down into the earth. Then do the opposite hand. Inhale, fill up with light. Close. Exhale, bring your hand back down. Empty. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Opposite side. Now, as you inhale this time, fill up with light and bend forward. Exhale as you're coming down, all the light draining out. Inhale, fill up with light. As you come up, then go down again, bend forward, exhale. Empty. Inhale, come up. And relax. That's called the 9 yantra prana yoga practice. Now we're going to do the second yantra yoga, which is called the 3 lights breathing practice. To do this, you inhale the air, and as you inhale, you visualize it as white light filling your lungs. The absorption breath of the energy being passed to every cell in your body, you visualize red light flashing through your body. Then the third breath is the exhale of bringing these 2 together, and exhale a healing breath out your nose, visualizing it as blue light going to space, going everywhere. Again, inhale white light, fill your lungs. The absorption breath of energy through your body, the elements in the air, red light visualize. And these 2 collected together become the blue light. Exhale out your nose to space. Do that. Next step in using this yantra yoga practice, or prana yoga, some call it, is to collect the three lights. To do that, you take your focus off of your breath and collect the three lights, the white, red, and blue together, into your heart chakra and create an energy center called the Bindu in Sanskrit. And it is simply this particle of light, similar to an atom, connecting to all the light energy and throughout the entire fabric of boundless space. So simply hold your focus on that point in the center of your chest. While remaining present. Then with your imagination and your focus together on that point, see it expanding. And as it expands, it grows into a small sphere of clear light energy. No color coding. Then visualize that small sphere of clear light to expand into one of the symbols of the 5 elements. And tonight we're going to use the element space, which is visualized as a white sphere of light about the size of a small grape, or about the size of your thumbnail, right in the center of your chest. And you label that white sphere space. The practical application of this is called the 5 elements healing meditation practice. To do this, you visualize that white sphere labeled space to move out in front of your body and up before your eyes, 2 feet in front. Where you use your 2 ordinary eyes to find that spot in front, and your imaginary eye to visualize it. Then you expand it in size and see your physical body just as you are, inside. In this way, you are psychically imagining the entire life force of space into your physical situation. It includes the other 4 elements, but predominantly this one for healing as a healing modality. Then you share it by expanding it in size with your imagination to completely enclose this island of Kauai and surrounding ocean. or the town or city where you live, the area where you live. Keeping focus and imagination together, you expand it to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her atmosphere. And in this way, the actual and the imagined become the same thing. Then imagine it to grow in size to completely enclose our spiral disc-shaped galaxy. And finally, move beyond the conceptual ability of your mind and blend it with the totality of boundless space. At this point, you again simply be present. Contemplating infinite space. No meditation. Then from that dimension of being, again, visualize the symbol, the white symbol enclosing the galaxy. Reduce it in size to just enclosing our solar system. Smaller and smaller just to enclose Mother Earth. Then the smaller and smaller to enclose the island, city, town, or a large area of where you are practicing. Then very much smaller, again, enclose your physical form in this white symbol of space. Receiving into your situation the total life force support of the entire universe. Then finishing, you return it to a small size, 2 feet out in front of your eye. Bring the symbol to chest level and into your heart chakra. Shrink it to the small sphere of clear light, as small as you can imagine, until it finally again is to the tiny particle similar to an atom, right in the center of your chest, connecting to the infinite light of boundless space. Relax in the present moment. Finish, put a smile on your lips as you bring your awareness in front of your eyes and expand it into this place of practice. Great. Five lights healing meditation.
And then down the street, around the corner, but that's where I have a park.
Oh,
She said what?
she needs to move her car.
And I move my car.
What she said, moving?
I'm going to move it.
She had to park far away, and her dogs are there. And
Come on, bring it up here.
Yeah,
Pull it right in here.
I think there's already cars already in there.
I heard
Or somebody leaving.
Amber leave.
Yeah, and some of the places I used to park down there, they got rocks in front of the 1 yard, and one's got a big sign, no parking, you know? So, and all up here was all crowded.
There's a space there.
Across the street.
Well, you've got those
I heard her
chairs
move
there.
from in front.
Huh?
I heard someone move from right in front.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just that,
You
you
gotta
know,
go.
I used to be able to park there, but she moved those chairs over, so.
People are possessive of their little.
Space. Their space, yeah.
Okay, short break. You need to use the bathroom. Hi, how are you?
How are you? Nice to see you.
They're doing
Shannon.
Shannon, yeah, you can come out to your house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My husband was
Josh.
trying to cut Josh,
Josh,
but
yeah.
he's doing a scuba dive, of course, with my boys.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm glad I made it. I almost didn't, I'm so sleepy.
Shannon is TM,
Oh, nice.
her husband.
Yeah, just learned the practice.
Great.
I invited him to
Yeah,
check
it's
out.
great. I'm loving it. I mean, I've taught yoga for years, but it's very different than just,
This is mostly
And then this is-
energy.
yeah.
I say yatsu or tantra.
Yeah. I had a crazy experience. Can I share it with you?
Sure.
Okay. Do you mind if I stand?
No, go
I
ahead.
need to stretch. But so I was doing my TM. I've been doing it for a few weeks, and of course they told us about the city SIDHI, the
Accomplishment.
levitating, right? And that's just that's it. Once you've done this for a while, you go on if you want to try.
I had a friend that won that contest.
The one that
She could fly the length of a baseball field.
it's so I'm like,
Anyway.
is this real? Is this? And then they showed us, the two teachers in baseball showed us this book. And, this stuff is not like it's all over the internet or whatever. It's really neat. But anyways, that's kind of in the back of my mind. Like, wouldn't that be cool, right? And it's not a goal even or anything. But I'm just like, that would be cool. I'd like to levitate a baseball field or a football field. But anyway, so I'm doing the TM. And I'm sitting there and I feel my hands are like this. And I don't actually like body parts touching because I just want to feel nothing. I don't want it. And I'm feeling my hands separate. And it's happening very slowly. And I'm kind of aware of it, but then I just keep going back to the mantra. And then as time goes on, like maybe after about 10 minutes, my arms were up here. Is that weird? Like, what is that? And I was really making sure that I was like I'm not doing this. I'm not consciously doing this. Yeah.
Your arms went up.
Yeah, my arms, like they slowly started separating and I would become aware of it and then I'd be like, back to the mantra, don't try, do, and then my arms went here and I was like, wow.
What if you did that?
What if when I do it on my own, like even if I just hold my arms here right now, it gets heavy.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take long for it to get heavy. There was no heaviness. In fact, bringing it back down was like, because I became too conscious of it. And so it kind of was starting to, I felt like it was muddy. So I'm like, okay, just, anyway, it's really,
Well, I'll explain the word Buddha.
yeah,
It's two words, Bu and Da.
yeah,
Bu is the energy of everything that's life. Okay, so what is energy? Energy is whatever you want it to be.
wave,
Mentally,
Stream.
physically, emotionally, spiritual, it's all energy.
Yeah.
Physically applied, or with your speech, or with your mind, all
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
When you start to do meditation and yoga, you're actually changing the energy program in your physical situation,
yeah,
inside your body.
yeah, right.
Okay, so you have been placing dense energy patterning because of your emotional involvement with yourself, everybody, and everything from birth.
Yeah,
Okay, that dense energy patterning is what causes disease, which is simply blockages of the flow through the body. Like we said, take the light in and then pass it all through every cell. But it gets disrupted because of this attachment, aversion, pride, jealousy, ignorance. When you start to meditate, you are taking the light energy Bu and doing what we're going to do the next practice. Da. Da is patterning of the light. Understanding that is what we call voidness.
understanding that is called
Understanding that,
Yeah.
that light is simply patterns that appear and we can essentially perceive them and think about them. That's all this whole world is.
Yeah.
That's Buddha. When a person completely realizes that, that's you've reached maturity. We call it enlightenment. The Sanskrit word is Buddha. The activity word is Bodhisattva. The Hindu word could be Brahma, Indra, Shiva, Vishnu, Ganesh. They got thousands of applications. Okay? You're practicing Hindu Tantra, Transcendental Meditation. Again.
Yeah,
I used to do that. And you get a mantra and you have a teacher.
yeah,
It's valid.
Yeah.
But what you did with that practice is you started to change the energy pattern in your body without knowledge that that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, when you get really good at this, you can levitate. For instance, I practiced in a 40-month retreat. In the third year of the retreat, we did what we call levitation practice.
Yeah.
Okay. We start off by simply climbing up the rope and letting go.
oh, really?
But before you hit the mat, like you have a thick mat, you don't want to land on the floor and break your back. You have to take your legs from the full lotus position and reverse them. So this foot, back of this foot has to end up on this side, and this foot has to end up on this side.
So are you climbing it in?
Yeah, it's got knots in it. So you're pulling yourself out.
But you're so light that it's possible, because
Well,
was not
after
aware
2
like
years
that.
of practice,
Yeah,
the third year, yes, anything's possible. Okay, so it's a 40-month retreat, 3 years and 3 months.
yeah, right.
Okay, and this goes on from 3 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. And you can't leave the retreat. There's 10 men doing the same thing and 10 women doing the same.
Wow.
Okay, but that patterning is what meditation and yoga practice is useful to keep you healthy.
Mhm.
Because the lighter the patterning of the body, the less blockages, the less disease,
Mhm.
the less cell deterioration, and so forth.
Yeah,
And so when your hands were starting to do that, means you didn't say, go to my arm,
yeah.
but that part of your body received that
Wow.
that pattern.
Cool.
Okay, but you can't say you did it.
No,
No,
I didn't.
no, but you did.
Yeah,
See, when I read that Mahamudra Prayer all the way through, it says it's this way and it's not this way at the same time.
right.
It is and it is.
Paradox.
Totally. This universe is a paradox.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're physically locked in because of conditioned existence.
yeah,
But we're not locked in because we have this other nature of mind that can break that condition.
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
And that's what you're doing with TM.
yeah,
Okay, so does that answer your
100%.
question?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Okay, but that's what we're doing in this class.
yeah,
And there's 1,000 different ways to do
right. Of course.
it. You have to have a teacher. It's good if the teacher has a lineage, because then you've got some backdrop.
Yeah,
It doesn't become new agey.
right, right. You
TM
can't just
isn't-
get a book
No,
and
TM
take
is
8
new
minute
agey. That's
meditation.
been around for thousands of years.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now, there's a difference between the Hindu and the Buddhist, and it's simply this. The Hindus want to go to heaven. Good. Good. That's a happy place
Yeah,
compared to being a cockroach.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where homeless people are downtown Honolulu. You see what I mean? So you have this predisposition in Hinduism. That's all religions are like that, including most forms of Buddhism. But Tibetan Buddhism says no way. You'll never go to heaven. Ooh,
So what is it? Just constant?
that doesn't, it
Recycling.
means always be human. So when we're taking refuge, we're taking refuge in our human condition as the best condition. This is not a religion, but all the rest of the Buddhists don't think that way. You know, most Buddhists think Buddhism, like you go to Thailand and all, they have great devotion and they practice and all. But they say Buddha is God and it's a celestial world. If you're karmically a nice person.
Mhm.
But in shamanistic Lamaism, it's all about staying in the human condition.
And recycling.
Yeah, but
And evolving in that recycling.
once you're there, accepting that the human is the best, there is no recycling. You can't go into the other. You can't become a conqueror.
Right, but you said that
And in your way,
leaving
your
the
choice,
house.
you have a choice. You can stay human or go celestial.
Or another planet, so people aren't going to be living on this planet about 20 years from now.
Well, there won't be many humans left now. We're in the age of extinction, which is very karmic. It's a karmic situation. But in the process of this extinction going on, which it is about halfway through, we're going to take the animals with us.
Yeah. Well, you can have all of them.
No, not all of them.
No, because of, what is it?
The jellyfish and the lobsters. And
Scorpions can live in.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
Not all of them.
they can live in non-oxygen environments, you know.
Yeah, well, that's
And
true.
cockroaches can survive all
Oh, yeah, this is crazy. Adaptable. Now, the next practice we're going to do is Manjushri. And this practice is to do the prayer that I read about Mahamudra, which is what we call nature of mind. To accomplish not only realization of it, but how to use that realization. So when we say insight, insight means, yes, you know this, and you know how to use it, practice it, but how do you apply it? Okay. Well, then it's simple. Memorize this prayer. This is just a support. This is just the discipline. This starts with generosity and includes morality, ethics, good math, diligence, meditation, and insight. But this little short prayer is how you use it. So we're going to read this, then we're going to start this practice. In order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, our mothers, that's the key word, our mothers.
Our mother.
We now all together take refuge in offer prostration. Prostration is a Tantra yoga method that goes with this concept. And for instance, Milo is now doing prostration. If you go to Tibet and India, you'll see those people doing prostration everywhere. Out on roads, around temples, you know.
Is that what repeating prayers? What is that?
Want to see a prostration?
Yeah.
Yeah, show prostration.
Okay.
Start over there.
We're gonna say everything which way?
Start over there.
This way?
Do it this way.
This way?
Yeah, do it this way. Towards the shrine.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So give yourself plenty of room. Okay, now, go.
Yeah.
It's okay, you can do it.
Now do it. Now relax.
All the healing energy of the body, mind, and soul, or the brain.
Body, speech, and mind.
Body, speech, and mind. Thank you. For the brain, all beings, my mother,
Yeah, not so fast. You want to slow it a little.
slow.
Yeah, do it slow it a little.
And mind, speech,
Yeah.
right?
Body,
Isn't it body's here?
body.
Oh, I thought body would be
Body,
here.
this is your body,
Body,
and soul.
Speech and mind.
Speech, this is your mind.
Mind, heart,
Heart,
soul.
The hard mind.
Why don't we say it with them?
Okay, sure.
Let's say it with
There's
them.
no soul.
Well, I just read an article that said about the mind
Okay, I'm
and the
gonna do
soul. They use
the
that
what?
word.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
We take the energy of the universe. This is salutations of the sun.
Okay. Yes. Love
Okay,
the
so we're
sun.
mixing yoga. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay, so I take the energy of the universe. I offer my body, speech, and mind for the benefit of all sentient beings, my mother. And you just go down like this. And you think that every being in the universe is doing this with you. That's the practice.
Wow.
Okay, so what are you doing? You're saying the refuge. You're doing it with your body, right? And you're thinking it. And that way you're bringing your body, speech, and mind into the same place, which is what all yoga and meditation is for. Okay, and then in other countries, you'll see it in short prostration. Goes like this. Taking the body, speech, and mind up to the Buddha dog and Sangha. And you go down and you just touch the forehead. That's more appropriate when you first meet a teacher or going to the temple. But in the actual tantric practice of shamanism, the full prostration is powerful, more powerful.
Well, and it seems like more of a surrender in that position.
Okay, but this is unique to India and Tibet from Buddha Shakyamuni. But why did they invent this prostration process? It was the same thing when we did this Yantra Yoga and then those three lights. Okay, now we're going to do the three lights with three sounds. And this way you bring the Bu and the Da together. The lights are the light. The vibration of those lights is the Da. That's these three sounds. So now we're going to do that, and we're going to do a practice of that deity, which is called Manjushri. And since we're talking about patterning and light, you have to know the trick, the code. So the code is that those three lights should be used with the 5 elements healing. We use the space element. We could have just as easily used air, fire, water, earth. Same practice. Okay. But now we're going to take that patterning and put sound in it. Vibration. So you have light and the vibration of the light. The vibration is the sound. And the sound you make with your human voice is called mantra. So this mantra sound, Om, Hinduism practices, Buddhist practice, everybody knows Om. Right? That's to get the clarity, energy into your body, into your brain, which controls the body. The Ah is to get the patterning in the body come out with the breath, this powerful speech. That's the mantra. And this sound, Hum, is the sound of healing in the Sanskrit tradition. Hum, H-U-M. So we have this book as a picture of all kinds of Buddhism symbols. But there's the Om on Hum. but they don't show you this code. We're going to do this. This is a code. Everything on computers is code. So you're the code writer. You're the code. You're making logarithms. I say that right?
Algorithms.
Logarithm.
Algorithms.
Logarithm.
I like that one.
Algo.
Stick with it.
Algorithms. Algo.
Algorithm.
Yeah. Manjushri? Are we doing Manjushri?
Yeah, we're doing Manjushri. Okay, but we're going to start with this code. Okay, and this deity has a sword in the sky like this. That's a cut through stupidity. Okay? And it's got its other hand like this, which has got this symbol of a lotus by the left ear. That's the compassion. So now we're going to cut ignorance and in place put compassion. Okay, so that's two-armed deity. This deity is Boo, only made of light. But its code is Da, ultimate patterning for your heart mind. Okay, so this is designed to bring the heart mind to full bloom. There's nothing more to do beyond it. Back straight. We'll put this up here to start with. This is going to be the code we're going to breathe. And we're going to be the deity. We're going to be a body of light. And if you think your arms got light, when you start to be the body of light, your whole body might raise on. Just don't be surprised. It's just a trick. Don't show off in public. Never show this in public. Let the magicians do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hands comfortable. On the knees or in the lap. Back straight, head slightly tilted forward. Mouth closed to start with. Eyes softly looking 2 feet in front. Not like this. Not close and not to an object. Right here. Space energy, right here. Bring your focus to your breath. As you inhale white light to fill your lungs, hear the sound Om. As the energy pervades your body, every cell, you hear the sound Ah. You visualize that red light going through your body. Ah. When you bring these two together and exhale out the nose, the healing breath is blue light to space. You hear the sound Om. Inhale white light. Hear Om. Energy of red light through your body. Hear the sound Ah. Blue light to space. Om. Once you've started to settle into a state of calm abiding, you say peace and tranquility, and more or less withdrawn from the worldly activities of the day, then take your focus off the breath and blend the 3 lights and the 3 sounds into the particle in the center of your chest, creating the heart chakra, the mind of compassion. Keep your focus on the particle as it connects every particle of light throughout space. All appearance is light. If that is your basis, then using your imagination, you focus that particle till it becomes a small sphere of clear light, entering in that way into this third dimensional worldly situation. Keeping your focus on that small sphere of clear light, keep expanding it until it creates a 5-colored sphere of light, which symbolizes 5 elements which create the universe, and 5 states of awareness as antidotes to all emotional programming. Once you have this 5-colored sphere, see your teacher in front. And from the teacher's forehead, you'll see white light coming into your forehead. This is to empower your mind to stabilize the energies in your physical body. Then from the teacher's throat, red light comes into your throat. This is to stabilize the patterning in with your body to affect your speech in a powerful way. Then from blue light from the teacher's heart in front into your heart, the wisdom light with insight and knowledge become appropriate. When you can see all 3 lights shining simultaneously, simply allow the teacher to blend into you. Then the 3 lights are now in the center of your head, throat, and heart chakra. You have a white Om in your head, a red Ah in your throat, and a blue Hum in your heart chakra. Focus on the white Om and chant Om. Inhale. Move your focus to the red Ah and a sphere of red light in your throat. Chant Ah. Inhale. Focus on the blue Hum, your sphere of blue light in your heart chakra. Chant Hum. With this empowerment for your body, speech, and mind, visualize the white Om in your head move down the central channel and merge with the red Ah. These 2 in union move down the central channel and merge into your heart chakra, into the blue Hum. These 3 together in a rainbow colored sphere of light, transformed into the sound of light itself, which is D. It's spelled D-H-I. Chant D. D. All the patterning within your body is a result of this vibratory sound, and then it's called nadis. Nadis. It means the patterning of light as energy channels, of which there are thousands of these throughout your entire form body. With the sound D, you become Manjushri. To do that, imagine your physical body to disappear, and in its place, you take on the rainbow body, we call it the light body of the deity. Young, healthy, male aspect, raised with a sword in this blazing sword in the sky to cut through ignorance and delusion, and holding a beautiful 5-colored lotus by the left ear as a sound of compassion applied to everyone. With these two, you see the deity dressed in his ornaments or qualities of 5 colors of silks as the 5 elements, and 5 kinds of jewels as the 5 disciplines of the Bodhisattva. Once you can see your rainbow body in 3D using this symbolic symbol of the Bodhisattva, which simply means a person on the path to full maturity as a human being, then you visualize your mother in front as a mirror image of your symbol, facing you. Then you project it to your father and all relatives, friends, and lovers, everybody you have karma with, even enemies, adversaries. Then you project it to the 8 billion humans on the planet today. Then all the animals in the ocean and on the land, same deity, Manjushri. Then you project it to the entire spirit world, which inhabits everything throughout boundless space. And you have created a mandala in your mind, which causes a heart mantra to appear in your heart chakra. The sound of this mantra circles the sound D inside the 5-colored sphere in your heart chakra. Starting with the sound Om, clockwise, Ah, Ra, Ma, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Soha, Swaha in Sanskrit. But the mantra is, we sound it together. Om, Ah, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ra, 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 Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. While you're sounding the mantra, you focus on the D, which looks like a U laying on its side with a hook over it, inside the 5-colored sphere. And then you focus on the mantra, which circles the D with the letters facing outward, and all the energy from those codes, or glazing through your rainbow body as Manjushri. And everybody in your mandala, all the animals, spirits, and humans in the entire universe has this symbol doing exactly the same thing you are. Om Aravansanani So. 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 This is what the D looks like. Right in the center of your heart, surrounded by a five-colored sphere of light, and the mantra circling it. The letters are stationary but arranged clockwise. That's what you visualize empowering your situation. And that energy escapes like the sun energy as support or healing energy to all beings who have karma. Om Aravansanani So. 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 Without the speech, continue to visualize yourself as this rainbow body symbol of Manjushri, Bodhisattva symbol. Mother, Father, sentient beings, lovers, friends, relatives, spirits, animals, humans, all same symbol. What fills your mind also fills the outer world space in the same way you did the 5 elements practice, either all at once or in degrees of expansion. Om Aravansanani So. 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 Now we're going to shorten the mantra. Soha or Swaha means always increasing, timeless, no end. But the first part of the mantra is the transformation of the beings stuck, we call in transition because of their emotional programming into the four spirit worlds and animals and humans here on planet. This energy now is for those 6 states of conditioned existence, emotionally conditioned existence. To do that, you think of the sword that Manjushri is holding in his hand, cutting through illusion and ignorance, and standing upright in your heart with the sound G on the blade. Then the handle of the sword is what we call the Vajra handle, which is a symbol of the 5 elements and 5 Buddha awareness states together. And those handles are touching 6 swords laying flat. And they're all blazing with light out their tips. And each sword is for one of the 4 spirit worlds in animal and human. So that's 6 swords. Now you say the mantra and say that those 6 realms of existence are completely transformed into the ultimate state of awareness, where no judgment exists. No judgment, no emotionality. No emotionality, no need for transmigration. And you sound the mantra. Om, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Ti. 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 Ti is light, infinite light. Om, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Ti. Om, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Ti. Om, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Ti. Infinite light is infinite compassion, loving kindness. Om, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Ti. 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 Om, Ra, Pa, Sa. Now whisper. Without the whisper, silently visualizing. Coming from your heart center. Then whisper. Say it. Om Arapasanadi. Om Arapasanadi. Om Arapasanadi. Om Arapasanadi. Now say Om and see it disappear. That sword disappear into the upright sword. Then Nam, see that sword disappear into this upright sword marked with D. Om, Om, Ram, 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 Nam, all disappear into the upright sword D. Now focusing on that sword in the five-colored sphere of light. Chant D. D, 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 Visualize like a stove. As faster you say it, the faster it blazes everywhere. D, D, D. Only the energy and patterning of light remain. To end the practice, visualize all the beings in your mandala that you created in mind as Manjushri disappear into you. When you visualize these infinite beings, your mothers, as Manjushri, dissolving into you from every direction, like rain into a lake. Then you, as the central symbol, disappear into the mantra, all the sounds of mantra of this deity. And they all disappear into the sound D. When the dear D in a five-colored sphere of light disappears into space, no meditation. Be present and relax. Present in the moment of your own timeless awareness. Allow all thoughts and physical sensations to arise, present themselves, and disappear. Do not attach or connect to any of it. Just walk. Going to ring the bell 3 times. Follow the sound of the bell. Body. Speech. Mind. And to finish our tonight's session, we'll read the dedication prayer at the bottom of the refuge sheet. So we start with refuge, and we end by giving this all to everyone else. First in Sanskrit. Devadi Nirdam Chalya Champo Chugirni Prova Chetan Marupa Te Sala Gopasho Sanjay Kusum Nimbai Jimmadam Chode Neger Dimbai Jimmadam Kendu Nietzsche Dimbai Jimmadam Chidar Gomam Mumam Drew Pasho. By this virtue of having realized Mahamudra, that I quickly establish all beings without a single exception in this state, by the blessing of the 3 bodies of the Buddha being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of the Dharma itself being unchanging, and by the blessing of the wishes of us, the Sangha, being unwavering, may this and all dedication prayers be fulfilled. May all the lamas have long life, good health, happiness and prosperity, and may all their wishes be fulfilled. And at the bottom right-hand corner, on the back, may all beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. May all beings be away from suffering and the cause of suffering. May all beings be free of all suffering. May all beings dwell in equanimity, free of attachment, free of aversion, free of pride, free of jealousy, free of ignorance, and all forms of judgment. You should change. Thank you. Nice practice.